morning to you, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Okay, you're thrust into the limelight as a 17-year-old on Britain's Got Talent. How old do you think you were when you realised you had that voice?
Remember that moment? The stage lights, the skeptical judges, and then a voice that defied all expectations. Jonathan Antoine, the shy teenager from Britain's Got Talent, became an overnight sensation. A teenage Pavarotti who captivated millions. His audition, a raw display of talent and vulnerability, promised a meteoric rise. But after the whirlwind of immediate fame, what really happened to him?
It wasn't exactly for me in the end, it turned out. And yeah, I had an incredibly tough time dealing with it.
Did he vanish under the immense pressure? Did the spotlight prove too harsh for such a private soul? Or did his story take an even more extraordinary turn, quietly unfolding far from the tabloid glare? The audition that shook the world. In 2012, the stage of Britain's Got Talent was set for another round of hopefuls. Among them was Jonathan Antoine, a 17-year-old from Essex, England, accompanied by his 16-year-old singing partner, Charlotte Giaconelli. Jonathan was a classically trained tenor with an incredible voice, but he also struggled with shyness and personal challenges related to his size. He told the judges that he had faced bullying growing up, which took a toll on his confidence. His close friend and singing partner, Charlotte, explained how protective she felt toward him. She said, "Before you judge someone, you really need to get to know them. It sounds like a cliché, but you can't judge a book by its cover. You have to read what's inside." Jonathan also shared how important Charlotte was to him, saying, "Honestly, I don't think I'd have the courage to go on stage today without Charlotte by my side." Jonathan and Charlotte chose to perform The Prayer by Andrea Bocelli and Celine Dion for their audition, a deeply meaningful song they had once sung together at their music teacher's wedding. But as they walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage, they were met with doubt, especially from Judge Simon Cowell. He quietly muttered, "Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse," clearly skeptical of what was about to unfold. That moment of doubt set the perfect stage for a powerful turnaround. The contrast between the audience's low expectations and what they were about to hear made what followed even more impactful. It was a storyline that reminded many of Susan Boyle's iconic debut, an ordinary-looking contestant who shocked the world with an extraordinary voice. Like Susan, Jonathan and Charlotte broke through the surface-level judgments people often make based on appearance. The surprise on the judges' faces and the audience's reaction quickly turned the audition into a viral, emotional moment that resonated with millions. This theme of being underestimated and rising above it became a core part of Jonathan's story. His vulnerability, openness about being bullied for his size, and his incredible talent made him not just a singer, but a voice for self-acceptance and resilience. The performance was unforgettable. The moment Jonathan began to sing, his voice soared through the auditorium. It was deep, powerful, and rich, taking everyone by surprise. The skepticism vanished instantly. The judges' expressions shifted from doubt to awe. Simon Cowell, known for being brutally honest, looked visibly moved. He called Jonathan unbelievable and said his voice was as good as Luciano Pavarotti. He even admitted that he hadn't heard such a superb opera voice in years. Alicia Dixon described their duet as world-class, while David Walliams was so touched he said, "I wanted to cry." It was more than just a great performance. It was a breakthrough moment. A shy young man who had once been bullied stood tall on a national stage, stunning the world and rewriting the narrative about what it means to be worthy, talented, and seen. However, the audition took a controversial turn when Cowell, while praising Jonathan, advised him to dump Charlotte, suggesting she would hold him back in the competition. In Simon's words, "Jonathan might do better if you were to ditch his friend." It was a bold and uncomfortable suggestion, and it immediately created a pivotal moment. Without hesitation, Jonathan stood his ground. Calm but firm, he responded, "Well, we've come on here as a duo, and we're gonna stay here as a duo." The audience erupted into thunderous applause. That short sentence, said with such certainty, changed everything. What could have been seen as a weak link or a controversial moment became a shining example of loyalty, humility, and character. In front of millions of viewers, Jonathan made it clear that success meant nothing to him if it came at the cost of leaving behind the friend who had always believed in him. His response struck a chord with people all over the world. It wasn't just about singing anymore. It was about values. Viewers saw Jonathan not only as a gifted singer, but also as a genuinely good person, someone who honored his friendships and stood by the people who supported him. David Walliams later commented on the moment, saying that Jonathan had effectively proved Simon wrong. And in many ways, he had. By staying loyal, he didn't just win the audience's admiration, he also strengthened the emotional impact of their story. In that moment, when he chose friendship over fame, Jonathan didn't just win applause, he won hearts. The public's response was immediate and overwhelming. Their audition video quickly went viral, accumulating collective views in the hundreds of millions across YouTube, becoming one of the most viewed television auditions in history. This moment helped define Jonathan and Charlotte's time on BGT, but it also shaped Jonathan's public image long after the show ended. The duo received standing ovations at their initial audition, their semi-final performance, and the grand final. In the semi-final, on May 7, 2012, they performed Caruso and successfully advanced to the final, with judges continuing to praise Charlotte's improved performance and the undeniable chemistry between them. In the final, held on May 12, 2012, Jonathan and Charlotte once again delivered a powerful rendition of The Prayer, earning another standing ovation. Ultimately, they finished as runners-up, losing to the dancing dog act Ashley and Pudsey. Despite not winning the top prize, Charlotte expressed immense pride in their achievement, stating, "Oh my God, we came second out of 70,000 people. It's incredible. It's been amazing." The audience's overwhelming response was not merely for their exceptional voices, but for their genuine human story. Their journey became a testament to the idea that talent, coupled with genuine character and vulnerability, can transcend the outcome of a competition. It laid the groundwork for Jonathan's later success as a solo artist and his role as an advocate. People began to see him as more than a performer. His kindness, loyalty, and integrity would later be reflected in his advocacy work, particularly around bullying, body image, and self-worth. As Jonathan and Charlotte's story rippled far beyond the stage, the world watched with growing curiosity. What would come next for the inseparable duo who had redefined what it meant to rise together? The duo's dance, charting success and shifting tides. The day after the Britain's Got Talent final, on May 13, 2012, the whirlwind of post-show momentum began. Simon Cowell, recognizing the undeniable talent and public appeal of Jonathan and Charlotte, swiftly entered negotiations to offer them a lucrative £1 million recording contract with his record label, Psycho. The duo accepted, and their debut album, appropriately titled Together, was released just a few months later, on September 24, 2012, in the UK, followed by a US release on October 30, 2012. This immediate record deal and rapid album release were strategic moves, capitalizing on their recent television exposure and widespread popularity. Together quickly climbed the charts, peaking at number 5 on the UK Albums Chart and earning a gold certification in the UK. The album featured Italian covers of popular songs from diverse artists such as Elton John, Muse, Take That, R.E.M., and Queen, showcasing their classical crossover appeal. This swift transition from television sensation to recording artists ensured immediate commercial success and solidified their presence in the music industry. However, such rapid momentum, while beneficial for launching a career, can also limit artistic development or force artists into a specific mold. The later emergence of creative differences between Jonathan and Charlotte subtly hinted at the underlying pressures of maintaining a joint artistic identity amidst individual growth. Following the success of Together, the duo transitioned from Psycho/Columbia Records to Sony Classical for their second album, Perhaps Love, which was released on October 14, 2013. This album continued their classical crossover style, featuring a collection of covers that blended classical songs with modern interpretations. Perhaps Love also performed well commercially, reaching number 5 on the charts. Jonathan and Charlotte embarked on an album pre-release tour of the UK and captivated audiences across Europe. Reviews from their 2013 tour lauded their superb performance and described the concerts as a wonderful experience, noting their significant growth and polish since their BGT days. However, within the very fabric of Perhaps Love, a subtle shift was occurring. The album notably contained solo tracks from each artist. This seemingly minor artistic choice reflected deeper, emerging creative differences between Jonathan's strong classical leanings and Charlotte's aspirations in musical theater. The success they achieved together, ironically, provided the very platform for them to realize and desire their individual artistic identities. This subtle divergence in their musical paths, evident in the album's structure, hinted that a separation was not a sign of failure, but rather a natural and perhaps inevitable progression. In February 2014, after 2 successful albums and extensive touring, Jonathan and Charlotte made the mutual decision to part ways professionally. The primary reason cited for their split was creative differences. They found themselves unable to agree on songs for a prospective third album. This artistic impasse led Sony Classical to offer them separate solo contracts, a pivotal moment that allowed them to pursue their distinct musical visions. Charlotte openly described the decision-making process as emotional, acknowledging that while it was sad to end their musical partnership, they both realized they wanted to do different things. She confessed that embarking on a solo career felt scary more than sad, and it was almost like starting again. Jonathan later reflected on their time together with gratitude, stating that neither of them could have navigated the intense BGT experience without the other's support. He viewed the split as the natural evolution of the thing, explaining that both he and Charlotte had always preferred solo performances, and that a classical crossover duo inherently has limitations in its repertoire and artistic scope. He articulated that there's only so much a crossover classical duo can actually do without starting to reinvent the whole thing. At the point I had the necessary confidence and understood myself a bit more, I felt it was time to make the leap, he later said. Crucially, despite their professional separation, Jonathan and Charlotte maintained their friendship. This separation, while initially disappointing for their devoted fanbase, was a mature and respectful decision driven by artistic integrity and individual ambition. The partnership, while instrumental in building Jonathan's initial confidence and launching his career, eventually became a constraint on their individual artistic growth. The record label's recognition of their solo potential, evidenced by the individual contracts, provided the necessary catalyst for them to pursue their distinct visions without the pressure of maintaining a joint identity. This was a necessary and deliberate step for both Jonathan and Charlotte to achieve their full artistic potential, demonstrating a mature approach to their evolving careers. A solo symphony, forging a unique artistic identity. With the duo era concluding, Jonathan Antoine embarked on a new chapter, forging his unique artistic identity as a solo tenor. His debut solo album, Tenore, Italian for tenor, was released in the UK on October 13, 2014. This album marked a significant milestone, showcasing his powerful voice in a selection of classic songs and arias. Produced by Anna Barry, who had previously worked with renowned artists like Andrea Bocelli and Jose Carreras, Tenore quickly became a critical and commercial success. At just 19 years old, Jonathan achieved his first #1 charting classical album. Reviewers lauded his talent, with one proclaiming, "Here is a new star on the vocal scene," and his first solo album attests to his miraculous talent. The album was praised for its ravishingly creamy and bright sound, its many gradations in dynamics, and its youthful verve and robust tone. 2 years later, Jonathan released his second solo album, Believe, on August 19, 2016. Believe further demonstrated his artistic maturation and willingness to expand his repertoire. It featured classical arias by Puccini, a moving rendition of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, and a new piece titled A New Tomorrow, which Jonathan co-wrote with British classical composer Chris Broom. This album also achieved #1 status on the classical charts. Critics continued to be impressed, with Robert Cummings commenting on his very versatile, sufficiently powerful and velvety, creamy sound that is quite unique. His vocal coach, Joy Mammon, who had performed with Pavarotti, even asserted, "I don't think there is tenor past or present with a better top C." The shift from tenore to believe represented a deliberate expansion of Jonathan's artistic identity. While tenor established his classical prowess, believe showcased his ability to integrate contemporary pieces and, significantly, to contribute to the songwriting process. Co-writing A New Tomorrow marked a deeper personal investment and a move beyond pure interpretation, signifying a greater creative control over his music. This progression positioned Jonathan as a dynamic crossover artist, not confined to traditional opera, and suggested a conscious strategy to reach a wider audience while maintaining his classical foundation, a move that aligns with the commercial success of other crossover artists. Jonathan's artistic journey continued to evolve with his third solo album, Going the Distance, released on June 5, 2020. This album was an eclectic mix of standards, contemporary pieces, and musical theater classics, uniquely structured in 3 acts. Much like a musical, it aimed to tell a semi-autobiographical story of overcoming adversity to fulfill one's dreams. The track list included diverse selections such as Elton John's Can You Feel the Love Tonight, John Denver's Country Roads, and a powerful rendition of Puccini's Nessun Dorma, which he performed publicly for the first time. This thematic approach, explicitly linking his musical output to his personal journey, elevated his music beyond mere performance, making it a powerful vehicle for personal expression and connection with listeners who could relate to themes of struggle and triumph. This demonstrated a mature artist using his platform to share his journey, adding depth and meaning to his work. Later in 2020, Jonathan released Christmasland in October, followed by a Platinum Edition in 2021. This album featured a selection of beloved Christmas classics and included a new song written by the legendary American songwriter Diane Warren. Christmasland Platinum Edition notably climbed to #1 on the iTunes classical charts. These albums further solidified Jonathan's versatility and willingness to experiment with different genres and themes. Jonathan's solo career has been marked by significant collaborations and performances on global stages, underscoring his sustained relevance and respect within the music industry. In 2014, he was invited by opera icon Placido Domingo to perform at the closing concert of the iTunes Festival. That same year, he made his debut performances in the United States, including an appearance at Muhammad Ali's Celebrity Fight Night. A highlight of his U.S. performances was singing The Beatles' Let It Be alongside Sting, Ne-Yo, and Adam Levine in Florida. In September 2018, he held his first solo concert in the United States, and in June 2019, he performed in Canada, where he publicly sang Nessun Dorma for the first time. A particularly notable collaboration emerged in November 2022, when Jonathan launched a crowd-funded recording project with legendary songwriter Diane Warren. This project culminated in the album By Request, the Diane Warren Songbook Volume 1, which was publicly released in November 2024. This collaboration with a songwriter of Warren's caliber, coupled with the crowdfunding model via Artist Share, demonstrates a strategic embrace of direct fan engagement and alternative funding models. This approach allows for greater artistic control and a more personal connection with his audience, ensuring sustainability in a changing music industry. More recently, in December 2024, Jonathan was invited to perform for an extraordinary tribute to the renowned Egyptian composer Omar Khayrat. And he also performed at Woolworth's Carols in the Domain in Australia. These global performances signify a strong international fan base built over time. Yet long before the global stages and standing ovations, Jonathan's journey was shaped by silent struggles, internal battles that forged the strength behind the voice the world would one day celebrate. The unseen battles, a journey of self-discovery and resilience. Beyond the spotlight and the soaring melodies, Jonathan Antoine has navigated a deeply personal journey marked by significant unseen battles. From a young age, he struggled with profound shyness and confidence issues, largely stemming from bullying he experienced in primary school due to his size. This early adversity damaged his confidence, shaping his early interactions and public persona. These struggles intensified into a battle with depression, to the point where, at one stage, he contemplated taking his own life. "My serious struggle started off when I was in 10th grade," he once openly shared. "Seeking professional help is crucial. Because of that, it's probably why I'm alive right now." Jonathan has credited his appearance on Britain's Got Talent as a life-saving experience, stating it saved his life and helped him battle his demons. The immense public validation and the platform provided by the show, coupled with the professional help he sought, gave him the external affirmation and internal impetus to confront these long-standing mental health issues. The exposure forced him to adapt and grow, transforming a deeply personal struggle into a public narrative of resilience. A visible manifestation of Jonathan's journey of self-improvement has been his significant physical transformation. 2 years after his BGT appearance, he had already lost 4 stone, approximately 56 pounds. More recently, reports indicate he has lost a remarkable 120 pounds. His approach to weight loss was holistic, extending far beyond simple dieting. It involved creating a sustainable eating plan, focused on whole foods, portion control, and mindful eating, alongside incorporating regular exercise such as walking, running, and strength training. Crucially, his transformation was deeply rooted in a mindset and motivation transformation, utilizing positive affirmations, cultivating resilience, and embracing self-compassion. He emphasized the importance of finding what works for oneself, viewing the journey itself as equally important as the destination. This highlights a holistic approach to well-being, where physical changes are deeply connected to psychological and emotional health. His public journey serves as a powerful example that true transformation involves addressing both the body and the mind, and that sustained change requires internal shifts as much as external actions. In a significant and deeply personal revelation in early 2023, Jonathan shared that he had been diagnosed with autism. This was the first time he had publicly spoken about it, and he described the diagnosis as incredibly liberating. For Jonathan, this understanding provided an explanation for some of the hardships that he faced throughout his life. He explained that it allowed him to more fully understand himself and recontextualized his life. As he put it, 28 years of my life not knowing, while acknowledging that the recontextualization of a life already lived is a scary thing to reckon with. The diagnosis offered immense clarity. This profound understanding provided a framework for lifelong challenges, shifting them from perceived personal failings to understandable neurodivergent traits. This understanding led to a feeling of liberation and deeper self-acceptance, emphasizing the profound impact of understanding one's own neurobiology. It offers a message of hope and validation for others who may be struggling with undiagnosed conditions. Jonathan has taken the pain of his past and turned it into a powerful platform for positive change. Far beyond his success as a singer, he has become a passionate advocate for young people, using his voice to speak out on issues that matter deeply to him. Mental health and anti-bullying are causes especially close to his heart. Having faced bullying himself and having struggled with self-image and confidence during his formative years, Jonathan understands firsthand the emotional toll that these challenges can take. In interviews, he often speaks with deep honesty about the importance of self-worth and learning to treat both ourselves and others with compassion. His message is clear: you are enough, just as you are, and everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and loved. But Jonathan's commitment goes beyond words. He has taken real, meaningful steps to support those in need. He co-authored a heartfelt children's book titled Jonathan and the Magical Cape, beautifully illustrated story aimed at helping kids navigate bullying and build their confidence. The book is a reflection of Jonathan's desire to empower the next generation, offering them the tools and hope he once wished he had. His advocacy work continues to grow. He is also featured in the upcoming documentary Anxious Nation, a project focused on the rising mental health crisis among young people. With his own story woven into the film, Jonathan hopes to help break the stigma surrounding anxiety and emotional struggles, and to let others know they are not alone. Everything Jonathan does in this space is rooted in lived experience. His journey of overcoming self-doubt and public scrutiny gives his advocacy an authenticity that deeply resonates. He's not just raising awareness, he's offering healing, hope, and a reminder that our greatest struggles can become the very thing that lifts others. Beyond the aria, unexpected passions and future horizons, Jonathan Antoine's journey reveals an artist far more multidimensional than his classical tenor fame might suggest. Beyond the operatic stage, he harbors a deep and eclectic love for all music genres, notably heavy metal. This passion isn't merely passive. He actively plays a collection of guitars, including 6, 7, and 8-string instruments, alongside 2 basses and a ukulele. He even maintains a personal studio on his property, where he dedicates time to writing music and meticulously fine-tuning pieces for future performances and recordings. This creative space is also where he has been diligently working on a heavy metal album for over 14 years, a testament to his enduring and diverse musical interests. These varied interests are not random hobbies. They reflect a broad creative drive that transcends genre boundaries. His classical training provides a solid foundation, but his personal taste and curiosity lead him to explore other forms of artistic expression, suggesting a desire for creative freedom and a rejection of being pigeonholed. This challenges the perception of a classical artist as being confined to one genre, highlighting Jonathan's authenticity as an artist who follows his genuine passions. Adding another intriguing layer to his artistic pursuits, Jonathan has been having fun doing voice acting projects for video games. While specific verified roles under his name are not detailed, his engagement in this field showcases his willingness to explore different performance mediums and apply his vocal talents in unexpected ways. This further underscores his multidimensional approach to artistic expression, demonstrating a versatile talent eager to embrace new creative challenges. Jonathan's creative endeavors extend beyond music and voice work into the realm of writing. He has a long-standing aspiration to be a writer, a dream he is actively pursuing with an ever-expanding list of novels he is working on. He has mentioned having at least 2 novels in progress and humorously noted, "I may well be writing until I am dust." This literary passion is deeply intertwined with his advocacy. Apart from children's book, Jonathan and the Magical Cape, which he co-authored specifically aimed at helping young readers overcome the challenges of bullying, he has been writing scripts for all kinds of things and feels he's getting pretty good at it now. This demonstrates a profound commitment to communication and impact beyond music, showing how his artistic drive is intertwined with a desire to connect, inspire, and contribute to meaningful causes, using diverse forms of storytelling to reach different audiences and address personal and societal themes. Looking ahead, Jonathan Antoine's career is far from static. It is a dynamic and actively evolving landscape. He continues to refine his craft through ongoing musical studies and vocal training with his beloved teacher, Joy Mammon. His home studio remains a hub for future recordings, ensuring a steady stream of new music. Recent performances, such as his tribute to Omar Khayyat in December 2024 and his appearance at Woolworth's Carols in the Domain in Australia, demonstrate his continued presence on global stages. He has also continued to release new singles, including When I'm Back on My Feet Again in 2024. His By Request, the Diane Warren Songbook Vol. 1 album, a crowd-funded project, saw its public release in November 2024. Jonathan actively cultivates a direct connection with his fan base, affectionately known as Fantoines. His official YouTube channel boasts 357,000 subscribers, and his videos have garnered collective views in the hundreds of millions. He frequently engages with his audience through live streams, celebrating milestones like his 300,000 subscriber count, hosting Q&A sessions, and holding album release parties. This active engagement, particularly through digital platforms, demonstrates an adaptation to the modern music industry. This level of engagement reflects a smart and heartfelt adaptation to the changing music industry. In a world where traditional record deals and big label backing aren't always accessible or sustainable, Jonathan has carved out a path where authenticity and connection take center stage. By embracing crowdfunding and direct-to-fan streaming, he's built a model that not only supports his artistry, but also allows for creative freedom. Fans who contribute feel like stakeholders in his journey, and Jonathan, in turn, maintains control over his music, message, and mission. It's a modern, personal approach to a career in music, one that fosters loyalty, sustainability, and genuine human connection. Jonathan himself has stated that he is always plotting some absurd creative endeavor and expects a fair bit of singing will happen in the future. He expresses a desire to tour the UK when it is safe to do so, and even has ideas for a game show and various podcasts. Jonathan's trajectory illustrates how artists can build sustainable, long-term careers by nurturing direct relationships with their audience and diversifying their creative output beyond traditional album cycles and tours. His continued presence and exploration of various artistic avenues suggest a fulfilling career driven by passion and genuine connection, rather than just chasing mainstream fame. So, what really happened to Jonathan Antoine from Britain's Got Talent? The enduring echo, Jonathan Antoine's lasting legacy. The common narrative of reality TV stars fading into obscurity does not apply to Jonathan Antoine. He didn't disappear. Instead, he embarked on a profound and continuous journey of personal growth, artistic diversification, and meaningful advocacy. He has consistently released new music, expanding his repertoire and collaborating with legendary figures like Placido Domingo and Diane Warren. He has transformed his personal battles with mental health, weight, and his recent autism diagnosis into a powerful platform for advocacy, co-authoring a book and participating in documentaries. His career trajectory presents a compelling case for a different kind of success, one defined by sustained artistic development, personal well-being, authentic connection with an audience, and meaningful social contribution, rather than just fleeting mainstream celebrity. He continues to train his voice, write novels and scripts, explore voice acting, and engage directly with his millions of fans through live streams and social media. Jonathan Antoine's journey has proven that true impact often extends far beyond the initial flash of the spotlight. What do you think was the most inspiring part of Jonathan Antoine's journey? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more contents like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.